Oh, hello there. Yes, well, we're getting there. Still don't know where there is. Collectively, we're definitely en route, though. Anyway, yes, yesterday. Dear God, it just seems to get darker and wetter, doesn't it? And the weather's not been good either. No, my eye was drawn to the gorgeous and pouting Julia Hartley-Brewer yesterday interviewing Ian Smith. Yes, you may remember him. He's still here. But I was intrigued by this in its own right, because the more I think about this, the more weird it becomes, and then the less weird it becomes when you sort of apply it on a more broad level as to how certain people feel about other people and where the rightful places of these people are. So, unions are calling for public sector workers to come to work wearing Palestinian colours for a day of action, in inverted commas. Former Conservative Party leader Ian Smith says this is not what democracy and freedom of speech is about. Yes. You see, and that got me thinking, well, OK then, what exactly is democracy about? Well, democracy, of course, is the right to choose to do things. You know, that's what we mean by voting and deciding and doing, isn't it? Yeah, that's what, broadly speaking, any form of democracy is. So, deciding to come to work to wear Palestinian colours surely must come under that, yes? And unions suggesting doing it. Well, unions are democratic bodies and people vote for them, and they vote for them because they want the stuff the union sort of says, and they go along with the union. That's the way they work. So if the union suggests that you go to work, don't have to, in Palestinian colours, then you might well decide to do that. Okay, that's democracy, isn't it? Isn't it? I would have thought so. Yes, and freedom of speech. Well, if you are a person who's allowed to, for example, express opinions, then that's freedom of speech. So what exactly is Ian Smith going on about here? Well, of course, what he's going on about is he doesn't want people to do things that he doesn't like. And Julia Hartley-Brewer, G&P Hartley-Brewer, of course, goes along with him because they come from that group of people for whom the important thing is that what they believe is right and proper and true and should be allowed, nay, it should be enforced by the boys in blue. And for the rest of us, well, no, because we're the wrong sort. Yes. And which neatly brings me on to my sort of token nonsense in the Daily Telegraph piece. Yeah, I think it will become a daily thing, but once again it's Alison Pearson, who, for a woman who really doesn't like the limelight, seems to be very much enjoying the limelight. So she wrote this very, 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 very long piece. I'll link down below, you can read it for yourself. Anyway, Alison Pearson, I am bruised but vindicated and going to war with the police. Yes, together we will fight these insanities one by one and put the onus onto the authorities to justify their absurd actions. Yes, the authorities, it's all those people in positions of power, of course. Yes, anyway, she has decided very much that she didn't do anything wrong whatsoever, and having basically got the full force of the establishment behind her, has decided that she's going to, stomp all over what remains a legal framework that she was arrested under. The intriguing thing about this, the central thing to this, is the way that she links herself to the Stockport rioters, who, of course, were a bunch of working-class racists that went on the rampage. Now, I'm not suggesting that Alison's a working class racist, but I am going to suggest strongly that by linking herself to that particular group of people, she isn't exactly going to win any friends with people like me, because I think she is very, very, very similar to that group of people. It's just that she's more middle class than them. I think that's the only difference. And of course, she has the right, as a very posh woman, not to be arrested by the police because she's above the law. A bit like, Ian Smith's above the law, a bit like Julia Hartley-Brewer is above the law. These people shouldn't be questioned at all. There shouldn't be laws about them. And of course, all three of them have something else in common, which is that they earnestly don't believe that international courts should have any jurisdiction either in relation to, genocide. Now, you might think that I'm linking three things together that aren't particularly linked, but I think they intrinsically are. We're dealing increasingly with a group of people who see themselves totally above any form of constraint. You can see this in the States with Trump, especially Elon Musk. Why should they answer to anyone? They are rich, and therefore, because they're rich, they must be right, and the rest of us can just lump it. Yes. Anyway, I wish Alison all the best having a go at the Essex Police. I imagine that various people there will dig their heels in somewhat, so we will see. But as I keep pointing out, if you do post things up that are racist, well, that is actually illegal. You can change the law if you like, but suggesting that we have two-tier policing, now, surely Alison and the Daily Telegraph aren't going to do that, are they? Well, yeah, they are, of course, because that's the world they want you and I to live in, and I'm suggesting I don't want to be there. And, historically, I think right is actually on my side rather than theirs. Anyway, do have a gorgeous and pouting Thursday. Dangerously close to the weekend. Yes. As ever, enjoy it whilst you can.